Eala's historic rise in 2025. By Justin Kenneth Carandang, GMA Integrated News. Eala may well be Philippine sports' biggest star in 2025. In the span of just 1 year, she accomplished a string of historic feats in Philippine tennis, turning every tournament she entered into a must-watch event, not only for tennis fans, but for Filipino sports fans as a whole. Here's a look back at the key moments of Eala's landmark 2025 campaign. Dream runs. It all began with a dream run in Miami last March. Competing in the Miami Open, Eala reached the semifinals of the WTA 1000 event, an unprecedented achievement for a Filipina player. On her way to the semis, she stunned multiple Grand Slam champions, defeating Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek before bowing out to Jessica Pegula. The historic run propelled Eala into the WTA Top 100, making her the first Filipina tennis player to achieve the feat and opening the doors to Grand Slam main draws. Later in June, Eala reached her first ever WTA tournament semifinal in Eastbourne, but narrowly fell to Maya Joint, 4-6, 6-1, 6-10, 7. Grand Slam main draw debut. Breaking into the Top 100 earned Eala entry in top Grand Slam tournaments, beginning with her main draw debut at the French Open in May. She bowed out in the opening round to Emiliana Arango, 0-6, 6-2, 3-6. After Eastbourne, Eala made her Wimbledon main draw debut, facing then defending champion Barbara Krejcikova. She fought hard but exited in the first round, 6-3, 2-6, 1-6. Weeks later at the US Open, despite coming off a shoulder injury, Eala made history by pulling off a massive first-round upset over world number 14 Clara Tauson, becoming the first Filipino to win a Grand Slam main draw match. Her run ended in the second round with a 4-6, 3-6 loss to Cristina Buxa. First WTA 125 title. Just days after her US Open breakthrough, Eala competed in a WTA 125 tournament in Guadalajara. She capped off a remarkable week by defeating Hungary's Punna Udvardy in the final, 1-6, 7-5, 6-3, becoming the first Filipino to win a WTA 125 title. Asian swing. Following her stints in Europe and the Americas, Eala shifted to the Asian swing, competing in several WTA and WTA 125 events. In her final tournament of the campaign in Hong Kong, she reached the round of 16 before falling to eventual champion Victoria Mboko. SEA Games gold. After a short break, Eala returned to action representing the Philippines at the 2025 Southeast Asian Games. She served as a flag bearer during the opening ceremony alongside volleyball star Brian Bagunas. With the national team, Eala secured a bronze medal in the women's team event and added another bronze with Francis Casey Alcantara in mixed doubles. Her crowning moment came on December 18, when she defeated Thailand's Maninkaya Sawanki, 6-1, 6-2, in the finals to claim the country's first women's tennis gold medal since 1999. What's next for Eala? Now ranked number 53 in the world, Eala is expected to open her 2026 season at the ASB Classic in New Zealand starting January 5, before heading to the Australian Open, which begins on January 18. Should she exit early in Australia, the Philippine Women's Open from January 26 to 31 could also be on her schedule. Eala, a historic rise in 2025. From dreamer to trailblazer. At only 20 years old, Eala redefined what was possible, not just for herself, but for a nation hungry for global sporting triumphs. In 2025, she didn't simply climb the rankings, she shattered ceilings and rewrote the narrative of Philippine tennis on the world stage. Her rise was electrifying, historic, and deeply symbolic, a fusion of raw talent, relentless grit, and the stirring courage to believe that no peak was too high. Philstar.com+1. The Preludes of a Prodigy. Eala's journey began long before 2025. Trained at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, she was already a standout junior, winning the US Open girls singles title in 2022, the first Filipino to achieve that feat. This set the tone for her transition to professional tennis and marked her as a beacon of hope. Those early victories planted the seeds of a career that would blossom spectacularly in 2025. Wikipedia. The Big Break, Miami Open Magic. Alex's ascent in 2025 began explosively at the Miami Open, one of the sport's biggest stages outside the Grand Slams. Granted a wild card into the tournament, she stunned the tennis world with a series of powerful, confident performances. She became the first Filipina to defeat multiple former Grand Slam champions in a single event, including Iga Swiatek, world number 2, Yelena Ostapenko, and Madison Keys, a remarkable display of skill rarely seen from a young, rising player. Her performance there propelled her into the semifinals, another historic milestone for Philippine tennis, and marked her entry into the WTA Top 100 for the first time in her career. Wikipedia +1. The media buzz wasn't just about wins, it was about symbolism. With every powerful forehand, deft slice, and clutch point, Alex was dismantling old limits imposed on Filipino athletes in tennis. For a country known more for boxing champions and basketball giants, Alex was carving a new path, one where tennis could shine just as brightly. Grand Slam breakthrough, the U.S. Open triumph. But if Miami was the spark, the U.S. Open was the fire. There, Alex etched her name into the record books by becoming the first Filipino, male or female, to win a main draw singles match at a Grand Slam. In a dramatic battle against Denmark's Clara Tauson, Alex dug deep from a tough start to triumph in a nerve-wracking final set tiebreak, 7-6, 13-11, showcasing not just skill, but grit and tenacity under immense pressure. Yahoo Sports. Standing on that court, under the New York lights, Alex embodied the hopes of millions, that Filipino athletes can compete and win on the grandest stages in sport. Fans around the world, especially Filipinos in New York, rallied behind her with thunderous support, turning those matches into emotional experiences transcending mere competition. Yahoo Sports. A first title, Guadalajara 125 Open. No breakout year is complete without a title. Alex's first professional singles crown came at the Guadalajara 125 Open in Mexico, where she fought through the draw and ultimately hoisted the trophy, becoming the first Filipina to win a WTA title at any level. It was a culmination of consistent growth and pointed to a future rich with promise. Wikipedia. Cracking the elite, top 50 and beyond. The ranking climb was nothing short of meteoric. Alex began 2025 ranked around number 158 in the world, but by year's end, she had soared into the top 50, the highest singles ranking ever achieved by a Filipino. This wasn't just a personal achievement, it was a milestone for Philippine sports history. It put her on par with the sports elite and made her a regular fixture in main draws of prestigious tournaments worldwide, including all 4 Grand Slam events, a first for a Filipino in history. Philstar.com +1. But it wasn't only the numbers that mattered. Breaking into the top 50 meant Alex had become a consistent force, no longer a surprise package, but a legitimate contender. Her expressive baseline play, fierce competitiveness, and growing mental strength made her a matchup that top players respected. The grass court heartbreak and the grit it showed,